Three bank runs in the last month. These are the second largest and third largest runs in history. The government is taking steps to guarantee all deposits. That means more money printing. Plus, the Fed is sitting on unrealized losses of 1.2 trillion on their 8.3 trillion bond portfolio. And the Fed will continue to raise interest rates even if they tank the economy. Do you know who is having peace of mind? The ones that are invested in gold with Noble Gold Investments. Gold is the most stable asset outside of any government control. Thousands have approached Noble Gold Investments to get their hands on gold. Hurry and go to noblegoldinvestments.com to secure your wealth now. Bag a free 5-ounce America the Beautiful coin with each gold or silver IRA if you qualify. noblegoldinvestments.com. noblegoldinvestments.com. A lot of you who are awakening to your true self, your true capabilities, seeing yourself actually for who you really are, but also seeing the world in a true light, you're naturally usually inclined to help others. You want others to see it too. You want them to experience this too. You want others to live their best life. You're usually wired that way. And here's what so often happens. I call it the Good Samaritan syndrome, is where you are so focused on helping others that you think you know better than they do what's best for them. And in that, you try to persuade them, you try to convince them, you try to talk them into it, you try to share more information, you try really, really hard to wake them up so they can see it too. And usually in the process, you lose your peace of mind, you lose a lot of energy, and you're not having a lot of success. And with people you love, you go above and beyond, right? So you push even harder, you try better. And the truth is that millions of people are right now realizing through these times, there comes a moment where you have to let them go. And the reason why this is so important is because when we believe that we know better than our spouse, better than our parents, better than our brothers and sisters, better than our friends, that we know better what's best for them, we rob them of their dignity. That's the first thing that happens inwardly, because at that point, we put ourselves above them and say, hey, I know what's best for you. You don't know this. And then we rob them of their dignity because we don't believe that free will and their ability to make the right choice for themselves applies there. Even if their choices harm them, those are their choices. And we're in a period right now where the split is becoming so obvious, right? People are glued to their screens, and that's where all of their information is coming from. Believe me, the irony is not lost on me that you're watching this on a screen and I'm coming to you from a screen. But I do think there's a lot of discernment and difference in how people perceive information. But basically, the picture that we're all seeing is people are glued to their screens. It doesn't matter what's happening around them, and whatever the screen says and shows them is true. And so they'll walk straight into the abyss, off the cliff, just because they're so glued to that stream of information and they can't be helped at it. That's the symbolism of this time that we're in. But it comes down to the most fundamental inner relationship patterns, like when people are experiencing addictions and you really want to help them, but they don't want to help themselves. I mean, who has ever seen that happening in their family, in their friend circle? You know, people are addicted to a substance, and the substance doesn't really matter. The addiction is a trauma reaction, but you see it, they harm themselves, and you think you can pull them out of it. But if they don't want it, there's nothing you can do. And the symbolism for me was always, I told this to someone in my life, close in my life, who always only wanted to complain to me. That's all they wanted to do. They wanted to call, complain, vent, and that's it. And I would suggest things. I would suggest solutions because I could see the solutions. I said, I can see a solution out of this for you. This is what you have to do, or this is what you could do. And they didn't want that. They just wanted to vent and cry about it and be the victim. And so I explained to them, here's what's happening. I'm stretching out my hand to you after having listened to you for so many times. Right now, you're lying on the ground. You're having a huge problem. It's like lying on the ground. I'm stretching out my arm to you. You can grab it, and I'll help pull you up. You'll have to use just as much strength pulling yourself up, but I'll help you. What you're trying to do, you're trying to pull me down. You want me to just vent with you, to just see you as a victim. And that's never going to happen. I've made that decision a long, long time ago. I will not be pulled down and lay there as a victim with others. If that's what they choose, that's what they choose. If it kills them, that's what's going to happen. This is the crux where we're in right now. We need to accept that people are dying because of their choices. We need to accept that people are leaving this realm because they chose on a deeper level to do that. And we have to accept it. We cannot prevent them from making those choices when they're adult beings. I'm talking about adults, by the way, always. So we have to honor their free will and give them back their dignity by not putting ourselves above them and looking at them as choiceless beings. Because how people view you, and this is another aspect of this, we actually look at them, and even if they don't see themselves as empowered beings, we can still look at them as having the basic human properties. That means they can help themselves and they can ask for help, and then help will be given. If we don't see that, we disempower them by the way we view them. We then view them as victims of life. And this is a disempowerment circle that goes downward and does not help anyone. And this is what we're seeing really. People are saying, I've had it. I love this man. I love this woman. I love this person in my life. I love my parent. I love my sister. I love my brother. But I am letting go. I did everything I could. They don't want to. And I'm taking back that energy and I'm keeping it and I'm investing it where it will fall on fertile ground, which means there are so many other people whom you will encounter, who will need your knowledge, your expertise, your wisdom, what you can share with them, and who will be appreciative. And that's the flip side of this coin. When we free ourselves up, when we declutter, and when we release ourselves, give ourselves permission to leave those toxic, unhealthy situations and actually open ourselves up to new friendships, relationships, whatever, these people will walk into our field, and then something beautiful happens. When you, on the flip side of this, help someone, and helping someone to me is really, you do the right thing, and they're usually being helped in the process. It's not my intention to go out into the world and look for people that need help. My intention is I'll do the right thing regardless. But on the flip side of this, what usually happens is these people then that are ready and open and just need a little bit of assistance, they will walk into your life and you will freely share what you can, and they will gratefully accept what you have to offer. And in that, there will be an upward spiral energetically. You've experienced this, where all of a sudden you poured hours or days into something, but you feel energized and happy because you can see that it is falling on fertile ground, that it is really creating something beautiful, and that people are helped and people are experiencing shifts. When people show up ready to shift and change their lives, then you will be there and do what you can to help them do that, because it's your natural inclination, because your talents are required. But if they don't show up, there's absolutely nothing you can do. And that's the realization that I'm seeing, thankfully, so many people are having, because it's been draining them. They've been losing their energy. They've been losing everything on trying to help people who don't want help. And on a large scale, a lot of people are making their exit right now. A lot of people are moving into very insane worlds and ways of thinking and ways of being. And we have to let them go. We have to accept that's their journey. We have to accept that's their free will, where we have to step in and say stop is where it harms others or harms children. So that's where you go. No, this is where we draw the line. We're going to protect ourselves and protect our children from this. But if that's what you want for your life, we have to accept it. And you will see that a shift will happen and your focus will shift over. And then what you actually will do and how you will apply yourself to the world around you will be very, very helpful to yourself and others. And this is where synergies happen. This is where energy expansion happens. This is where consciousness rises and amazing solutions appear. I have a clear intention to do the right thing every day as I show up. And sometimes I might fail at that, but that's my intention every day. I give thanks for the right guidance, and usually it works out pretty well. If and only if someone is open and willing to accept help, can you do something. And then what you do has great impact. All right, Inspired Tribe, thank you again. Love you all very, very much. Have a blessed and wonderful day. We'll be back with you again very, very soon. Would you like to get access to exclusive content as well as being part of a community of like-minded people posting, sharing, and connecting on a deeper level? Come join the Inspired community on Locals, where we share more intimately and privately and do our Coffee and Truth live streams as well as our Honey Talks show, the only Inspired show with Christine Nolan. The Inspired community is absolutely uncensored and unfiltered, a place for truth, authenticity, and freedom. Join us now at inspired.locals.com or click on a link in the video description.